She and my boyfriend were co-hosting a show on MTV called Wonderland. And no, she wasn't very nice. She wasn't very nice to me. I knew she didn't like me, and I kind of ignored it because I felt like, well, you know, she's already like in this celebrity scene or whatever, so she probably just feels like she has better things to do than talk to me. And I just noticed that, like, even when we were just out to eat or at the beach or something, she still wasn't very nice to me. She just didn't like me. She didn't say anything that was mean, but she was really like standoffish, or like wouldn't talk to me, you know, like when I talked to her, it was kind of like, oh, okay. So yeah, I eventually found out that she and my boyfriend had something going on, ex-boyfriend. And that was that. I left the relationship. I mean, yeah, it was heartbreaking. I mean, I was with him for 10 years. I supported him through everything. And when he finally got a big break, he left me for Lizzo.
What's up, brownies? Am I the only person that's kind of missing something here? I couldn't help but notice that in that long rant that she did, telling this whole backstory in where Lizzo stole her man, she didn't provide any receipts, not even so much as a photograph of her and Lizzo and the guy together, any proof that they even knew each other. And what struck me was the fact that because she had the complexion for protection, she was able to get belief without receipts. I'm really stuck on the fact that she literally said in the video, Lizzo didn't actually do anything to me, really. It was just that she didn't like me. One of these things that we need to stop with this whole preferences talk, and as far as it pertains to colorism, is teaching these types of mentalities to our light-skinned daughters and cousins and nieces and granddaughters and so forth and so on, because it really does you a disservice. So if we can just automatically believe this woman and take her word for her entire story, even though she's provided no receipts, here's what I want you to consider. You remember a few years ago when Nipsey Hussle died and YG was at his funeral talking about having light-skinned daughters and what we gonna do versus actually focusing on the mourning and the grief of the situation. This is how deep colorism is. YG, I guess his youngest daughter at that time was barely old enough to walk. Look at her in this picture. And already you're being raised by a man that has that type of mentality towards your skin tone. That because of your aesthetic, because of your phenotype, that is going to make you so desirable to the opposite sex that it is just going to be a hard time as a father for me to just beat him off with a stick. Why are we having these types of conversations about children that small? But also, why is it so hard to believe that people who grew up being raised in environments like this and by parents like this, that you would not have any type of hubris or ego as it pertains to your skin tone? And the possibility that that type of nasty attitude might show up in the way that you interact with people and thereby making your personality less desirable to them. She talked about timing and how she didn't want to come out with this then because she would just sound like a hater. Here's what I don't understand. How is it that nobody is talking about the fact that her dropping this video when she did completely took over the conversation that was being had by the actual alleged victims or people that are a part of the lawsuit? You see, this is one of the things that privileged people have to be careful about. Sometimes inadvertently, your words can overshadow or suppress the voice of other people who are far more marginalized than you. Because once again, what you said about Lizzo was basically that she kept it short and sweet when she had to interact with you. She said what she had to say, and then she just kept it moving. You all weren't friends. You didn't braid each other's hair or go to brunch on Thursdays. She just didn't care for you too much. And that is your basis for talking about, see, they're right. She does have a terrible attitude, or she is a terrible person. Maybe she just did not like you. Or should we really move on to talking about some of the real reasons why you did not like her? As it pertains to this man that she stole from you, let's be 100% clear. You can't steal a man. Men choose, as adults, where they want to go and who they want to be with. And that's exactly what happened in this situation. Did the aesthetic of the person that he did choose instead of you, Did that trigger you a little bit, or did that create even more of a sting with him leaving you? Here's what I'm saying. If he had just gone the Kanye route and when he got on, he just left you for a white girl, that would just be par for the course. Almost basically that's what's supposed to happen. But for him to go the complete opposite way, people like you have been told your whole life that you are the prize and you're supposed to be the first round draft pick, I think it's going to sting when you see him choose someone that is the polar opposite of you. And it was really disheartening to see the women run along with this narrative in the comment section as if we can't turn on any social media platform right now and find 100 videos of a larger lady or a grand girl being the bride, literally being the prize and the one chosen. We act as though there are no wives that are above a size 8. Men like what they like, and it's not always what society has programmed them to like. Automatically, the conversation went to, well, the only reason why he wanted her or liked her is because of her money. He was clout chasing. You ever notice how when we're trying to insult a man, or when we should be insulting a man, it's oftentimes a woman that catches a stray? Let me give you another example, because you all did Kandi Burruss, Miss Legs and Hips and Body herself. And you also did the same thing to Keke Palmer and any other black woman who dated and or married a man who makes less money than her. The only reason that these men could possibly like these women is because of their money and their fame and notoriety. Do you not understand that when we say things like this, what you are automatically doing is discrediting these women's entire resume and the content of their character, as if Lizzo's face card has ever declined? And until these accusations came out, we all saw Lizzo being bright and bubbly and positive, funny. She's incredibly talented. And yet and still, the only reason why a man could possibly want you darkies is because of your money. But let's talk about the boomerang shade that she threw herself. In you saying that you were with this man for 10 years, sis, what you should have been talking about or focusing on is telling the people your cautionary tale of doing another thing that we need to stop programming our daughters for, which is the over-glamorization of the ride or die chick. See, there's this notion that having a piece of a man is better than having no man at all. Or you need to stick beside him, be the ride or die chick. Let's analyze those two options, shall we? You can either ride, meaning go along for the ride, whether or not he has any type of direction in his life as to where he's going, a 5-year plan or anything. But what we do know is, because you're not a wife, you have no guarantee of any type of a return on your investment. In fact, if he was the one that was to die while you were still riding with him, if he ended up in the hospital, you're not even the next of kin, because you're not the wife, nor are you a blood relative. These two options are trash. And what we need to be focusing on is telling our daughters that doing this volunteer work in the Build a Brother workshop, not only does it not pay, it ends up costing you a whole lot more. Specifically in her case, 10 years of your youth, your prime time, by your own words, while he was struggling or you held him down. You know, you can do all of this helping somebody get on their feet. And as soon as he got on his feet, what did he do? He used those 2 feet to walk right out of your life. This is what is most common. So if you got anything other than that, if that actually worked out for you, then your situation is the exception and not the rule. Is it the truth? Did they really have a relationship? They probably did. But I want you to ask yourself, why is it that you automatically believe this woman with no proof at all? How often is that done to people who look like Lizzo? And what a disadvantage does it put her at as far as defending herself in this case? Follow Pretty Brown Rise on all platforms and make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the notification bell for all notifications so that you'll know as soon as the next video drops.